welcome to lesson 79. This is finding equivalent fractions by multiplying by 1. Now equivalent means equal to. When we learned way back at the beginning of the school year what the identity property of multiplication is, it states that any number times 1 is the number itself. Remember, whenever you know your identity in Christ, you don't need the spotlight. You put somebody else first. You put the other person first. So if I had 15 times 1, 1 does not need the spotlight. The answer ends up being 15. So whenever I multiply by 1, the value of the number itself really does not change. So you're saying I want one group of that same number. So we also know how to write a fraction as a whole number. A fraction as 1. There's an infinite number of ways that we can do that. It's very important to know. I can always, as long as I have the same numerator and same denominator, it's going to equal 1. So 2 over 2 equals 1. So I'm multiplying half really times 1 itself. My answer is going to look different, but the value itself does not change. We know this basically because 2 is still half of 4. This 2/4 is equal to 1/2 because I'm multiplying by 1. However, when I'm still multiplying, my numerator and denominator changes. The value, again, does not change. So when I have 1/2 times 3 over 3, which equals 1, it equals to 3/6, and 3/6 is still equal to half. I multiply 1/2 again times 4 over 4. It equals to 4/8, but again, it is still equal to half. So all of these fractions are equivalent to half because I'm just simply multiplying by different forms of 1. Even though they look different, they're all the exact same value. If I were to have 2/4 of a pizza, it would be equal to 3/6 of a pizza, which would still be equal to 4/8 of a pizza. They are all the same. The numerator and denominators just looks different. So we're going to start with example 1. By what name for 1, so what fraction of 1, should 3/4 be multiplied to make 6/8? So I'm trying to figure out how, if I have 3/4, I need to multiply by a fraction of 1 that equals to 6 over 8. So this is exactly what it's asking. What do I need to multiply 3 times what to equal 6 and 4 times what to equal 8? Well, these numerator and denominator will both be the same because it equals 1. And my answer would be 2 over 2. That would be my final answer because 3 times 2 is 6 and 4 times 2 is 8. I'm multiplying by 1, so I know that 3/4 does equal to 6/8. Example 2 says, write a fraction equal to 2/3 that has a denominator of 12. So we're taking it a little step farther. It's still the exact same process. We're just writing less of it. So if I have 2/3, I'm going to multiply by some form of 1 somewhere in between so that the fraction equals to something over 12. So the only thing I really actually need to look at is the two numbers that I have, which are my denominators. I have 3 and I have 12. So what times 3 equals 12? I think to myself, 3 times 4 equals 12. So I'm just going to pencil this in here, just making note. That means if I multiply my denominator times 12, you bet I have to multiply my numerator times 12. Otherwise, or times 4, multiplying 3 times 4 to equal 12. If I multiply by 4, I definitely have to multiply my numerator times 4. Otherwise, the fraction would not be equal. These fractions have to be equal, so I have to multiply. Whatever I multiply on the bottom, I have to multiply on the top. Whatever I multiply on the top, I have to multiply on the bottom, so that they are equivalent. So 2 times 4 equals 8. My answer would be 8 over 12. That would be my fraction. 2/3 equals 8/12. So looking at these two examples, this example will definitely help you to be able to figure out your practice set problems that I will be checking. E, F, and G. We will also do some of the others in class. So letter E, 1/3 equals what over 9? So what you're going to ask yourself, I have my denominators in all of these fractions. What times 3 times what equals 9? Multiply the same at the top. 3 times what equals 15? Multiply the same at the top. 5 times what equals 10? Multiply the same at the top. I will check your answers for a participation grade. We'll go over them together and we'll do some more practice together, as well as look at more example problems and more problems that will be in depth. Thank you very much for paying attention.